Welcome students to the 8th lecture on the chapter Wave Optics. In lecture 7, we discussed the phenomenon of diffraction, different types of diffraction, and in detail the superposition of waves in single slit to produce the diffraction. Now in this lecture we move further to discuss the distinguishment or the differences between the interference and diffraction. Then we will try to understand the concept of the resolving power and the limit of resolution, which depends on the phenomenon of diffraction. And finally, the validity of ray optics. Now, first let us try to understand the differences between the interference and diffraction. So here, the interference is the phenomenon which occurs due to the superposition of waves from two sources or from two different wavefronts, whereas diffraction is superposition of waves from the different part of the same source or the same wavefront. In interference, the intensity at the position of maxima or the bright fringes is same, whereas in diffraction the intensity at the positions of maxima or the bright fringes varies. It is maximum at the central maximum and then it goes on decreasing for the higher order secondary maxima. The dark fringes in the interference pattern are perfectly dark, whereas the dark fringes of diffraction pattern are not perfectly dark. The width of all the fringes is equal in interference, whereas the width of all the fringes is not equal in case of diffraction. Now, to support this distinguishment, let us try to go through the intensity pattern of interference and diffraction. So this is the pattern of interference in which we have all the bright and dark fringes equally spaced and all bright fringes have equal intensity. Whereas in diffraction, we have maximum intensity at the center and the intensity decreases on either side of the central maximum. Width is not same. Now let us try to understand how the diffraction is going to bother the optical instruments and how it matters the resolving power of the instruments. Now here we have three images. In the first image, the two objects, closely lying objects, appear to be distinct. In the second diagram, the two appear to be resolvable. They have not yet resolved, but they are resolvable. Whereas in the third picture, even though we have two sources of light, it appears as if it is one source. Now, why all these things are happening? Now, try to understand in this diagram itself, the objects rather than appearing as the sharp entity, the image of the source rather than appearing as one single focused image, it is appearing as if there is a bright spot at the center and rings around it. So what does it mean is, when we make use of optical instruments, we don't get the sharp image, we rather going to get the diffraction pattern of that. Now there comes a discussion called Rayleigh's criterion. Now what does it mean? It means that the two closely lying objects or the source of light are resolvable if the central maximum of one coincides with the first secondary minimum of another. The central maximum of the diffraction pattern of one source, if it coincides with the first secondary minimum of the second source, then only the two objects appear to be resolvable. Until that, the total image due to two closely lying objects, it appears as one. So here we have that case. What we have is the central maximum of one is coinciding with the first secondary minimum of another. So solid line is of first second source, whereas the dotted line is of first source. So therefore the central maximum of second source is coinciding with the first secondary minimum of first source. Similarly, the central maximum of first source is coinciding with the first secondary minimum of the second source. Let us try to understand what this says. The Rayleigh criterion for the diffraction limit to resolution states that two images are just resolvable when the center of diffraction pattern of one is directly over the first minimum of the diffraction pattern of the another. Now, what we know is, and let us consider that we have two objects or two sources of light, object 1 and object 2, which the light of which goes through a pinhole. So since it goes through a pinhole, what we get is we don't get a sharp pattern, we get the diffraction phenomenon. Okay, so we have the central maximum of the two objects, object 1 and object 2 here, which is going to produce the resultant effect. Now if I consider any one of them, now we know the distance between the central maximum and the first secondary minimum, and the angular distance is, or the angular separation is 1.22 lambda divided by d. So therefore that should be the minimum angle between the two objects at the point of sight, so that the two objects appear resolvable. So that's what is the Rayleigh's criterion. Let us try to understand. So what it says is, it says that the first minimum is at an angle of theta is equal to 1.22 lambda divided by d, so that the two objects are just resolvable if they are separated by an angle. So if they are separated by the angle theta is equal to 1.22 lambda divided by d, then only the two objects appear to be resolvable, where lambda is the wavelength of the light used or the source, and d is the diameter of the aperture, lens, mirror, etc., with which the two objects are observed. So try to understand the Rayleigh criteria. It says that the minimum angle formed by the two objects at the point of view or sight should be equal to 1.22 lambda divided by d. Why so? Because it is angle between the central maximum, angular separation between the central maximum and the first secondary minimum. Now let us define what is resolving power. The resolving power of an instrument or microscope or telescope is defined as the ability to distinguish two close together images as being separate. And there is one more thing called limit of resolution. So limit of resolution is the minimum distance, which can be linear one or angular one, minimum distance between two closely lying objects to appear distinct. Now limit of resolution is practically the reciprocal of resolving power. So if we write the expression for the resolving power of microscopes and limit of resolution of microscope, we have this. So resolving power is 2 times of n into sine of beta divided by 1.22 lambda, whereas limit of resolution of microscope is d minimum is equal to 1.22 lambda divided by 2n sine beta, where lambda is the wavelength of light used, n is the refractive index of the medium. So n into sine beta is called numerical aperture. Okay, n into sine beta is called numerical aperture. Now how can we increase the resolving power of the microscope? We can increase the resolving power of microscope by decreasing the wavelength. So therefore in biological labs, the microorganisms are weaved using blue light. Similarly, the same can also be done. The resolving power of the microscope can also be increased by increasing the refractive index. Okay, by increasing the refractive index. So therefore the microorganisms are placed in a media rather than in air, okay, so that they can be resolved better. Okay. Now similarly, the resolving power of telescope and limit of resolution of telescope is given as, so for telescope resolving power is d divided by 1.22 f by lambda, whereas limit of resolution is 1.22 f into lambda divided by d. They are reciprocal of each other, where lambda is again the wavelength used or wavelength of the light that comes. D is the diameter of the aperture, okay, aperture objective of the objective lens, and F is the focal length of the objective. Okay, it is diameter of the objective lens. D is the diameter of the objective lens. Now, thus the resolving power of the microscope can be increased by increasing the diameter of the objective lens. So therefore, the objective lens is always bigger. So if you see the structure of the telescope, the objective lens is bigger than the eyepiece lens. Okay. Now finally, let us discuss the validity of ray optics. Now when the light from the slit comes out, according to the ray optics, we expect the rays of light to move straight to fall on the screen. But practically, what happens is the light diverges to produce the effect on the screen. So, after a certain distance, the divergence becomes so significant that the ray optics is not valid, and that distance is called Fresnel distance. So, the divergence of the beam through the aperture becomes significant after a certain distance called Fresnel distance, which is denoted as Z. So Z is numerically given as a square divided by lambda, where a is the width of the aperture and lambda is the wavelength. So a is the size of the aperture and lambda is the wavelength of the light used. So therefore, beyond the Fresnel distance, the diffraction dominates and the ray optics is not valid. So therefore, we move from the ray optics to wave optics. So it is a problem which can be understood due to the diffraction phenomenon that is occurring. So in today's lecture, we discussed the differences between the interference and diffraction, then the Rayleigh's criterion, resolving power and limit of resolution, and the corresponding expressions for the telescopes and microscopes, and finally we discussed the validity of ray optics. Thank you.